Thanks so much, and welcome back to Inspirational Shorts with Sheila. The message I have for you today, I'm going to be sharing a formula with you, and this is just a 20-minute formula for emotional release when you've been hurt or wounded. And I have to tell you, in the world that we're living in today, people are careless, they are reckless. People are battling all sorts of internal demons that position them in the world in a way that they can hurt others. I think people often hurt others without really realizing the damage and the destruction they've done. So it's imperative, particularly for the sensitive souls in the world, it's imperative that you have a process. I'm about just taking you through processes to just keep you on track. And if you get hurt, if you get wounded, it could be a slight, it could be in any number of things. If you don't have a process to air that out and to vent that out, you're just going to walk around hurt and wounded. It could go on for a week. It could go on for a month. For some people, it goes on longer. Let me tell you, folks, from the bottom of my heart, it is no way to live. I've had those times. I've had those experiences, things that, if I had this tool of 20-minute release, I could have really just released it, worked on it, and got on my own merry way. It is imperative. It is imperative because people will come in, slam into your life recklessly. Folks, I'm telling you, they're up having a cup of coffee, pancake breakfast, Olive Garden for dinner, whatever the case may be. And you're sitting debilitated. I want you in life. I want you engaged. I want you fresh. Here's the 20-minute process. So when you have been hurt or wounded, someone upset you, a lot of times what we'll do is we'll go into a spiral of rumination, trying to damn them, coming up with things in our mind to, basically throw mud at them. And, then you go into the spiral of feeling bad, confused, whatever. And what that does is take up valuable emotional space in your mind, emotional energy that you could really use to do a craft, a project, share life with those you love. So what I'm doing is just giving you time back and energy back with this process. So the first thing that you do in order to just stop the rumination, stop the going back and forth in your mind, the first step that I use is called acceptance and commitment. Acceptance and commitment. That's a form of therapy for yourself on the go. Acceptance and commitment, it takes you out of fighting. It takes you out of justifying. When you use acceptance and commitment, you literally accept what has just happened and you state what you're committed to. A couple months ago, I had an upset. Someone did something just very, very rude. They had agreed to, it was a business arrangement. They had agreed to a sponsorship and just basically broke their word. It was very emotionally upsetting, and I could have spiraled on it for a couple of weeks. I went right into my process. So number one, Sheila, what do you accept? I absolutely accept that this came out of the blue. I accept that I'm very pissed off by it. I accept that I'm hurt by it. I accept that there's an element of this that I really don't understand and I may never understand. And you just lay it out to yourself. All right, what are you committed to? I'm committed to moving on, strong, elevation in all areas of life, business, personal, and every other way. I am deeply committed to that. So number one, that's the first step. You stop and you state, what do I accept about it? Because whatever you don't accept, you're going to fight. What do I accept about it? Acceptance brings peace. And what am I committed? What am I committed to for my sake? All right. Step two. I want you to find a quiet place. Make sure it's quiet and private so you can kind of vent out and air out, because you're going to be saying some things out loud. Okay. Pour out. Step two is to pour out. Who are you pouring out to? The air? No, pour out to God, folks. He's listening. Pour out to God and your angels in a way that you need to. If there needs to be tears, pour out. If you need to yell, pour out. Whatever you need to do, pour out. Pour out. State your case, state your wounding, pour out, get it all out of your system. Generally, once you get going, it doesn't take that long. And then after you pour out, ask. This is still involved in step number 2. Ask God for divine grace and the absolute perfect mindset. Ask him to download the perfect mindset about the situation in your mind, and ask him to help you cut through your resistance and say, I want the perfect divine mindset. Okay. And then step 3, and I love this step. It's a funny step. It works. All these steps combined, they truly, truly work. I want you to create the funniest, most hilarious picture about the scenario in your mind. I want you to just create that. So this particular incident, I literally saw this person. You got to have fun with it. It's in the confines of your mind, so have fun with it. I literally just saw myself flushing this person down a tiny little toilet and just laughing. I flushed them. I flushed them away, and I saw myself laughing hysterically as I did it. And what that does, it really gives you, it puts the levity in it. It's not harmful, doesn't hurt anyone, but it really helps you release. See yourself doing something funny to just discard that energy. There's any number of things that you could come up with. I worked with a client one time, and she said, you know what, Sheila, I'm tired of this guy. He has just dogged me out. He's, with all these women, I'm tired of it. I took her through the process and said, at last step, find something funny. You say, you know what? He's such a dog. And one of the things he loves to do is just sit on a beach. And she just envisioned him sitting on a beach, not as himself, but as the dog, as the literal dog that he was, and being swept away by some waves in her mind. Just bye-bye. Saw the sand kicking up, the water kicking up, and just, wisping him away. And on the surface, you may say, well, Sheila, what can that do? If that is played over and over and over again in your mind, that versus debilitating thoughts, you're going to let go so much faster, and you're going to laugh. You're going to laugh while you're doing it. The process I'm giving you, it's a muscle, you guys. It's a muscle that you must, in the days that we're living in, you must train that muscle, because there's so much that if you let it, will just come in and wipe you out. I don't want that. So I'm going to recap. Step 1, accept and commit. What do I accept? I accept it's a crappy situation, and I accept there's things about it I don't know, and I am committed to moving forward stronger than ever. Step number 2, find a quiet place where you can speak out loud. Pour out your heart's troubles and concerns to the Lord. If you need to cry, do it, whatever you need to do. And then step 3, I want you to get a visual, something that is funny, something that is hilarious, that you can attach the circumstance to and see it and just laugh. Let them spiral away in a tornado. See the water washing away, or do what I did, flush them down a toilet and just keep going. So I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Plug in that process. If it works, if you work it, it works if you work it. Thank you so much. It's been Inspirational Shorts with Sheila. I'll connect with you soon.